Hello, y'all. I'm back on this exercise bike. And so this video is going to be about narcissists and funerals and death, whether it be a celebration of life, a memorial, a funeral, whichever way you want to word it. So I'm going to be doing several videos. I might consider putting the narcissists and death or narcissists and funerals under a playlist of mine. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, y'all, but I'm on this exercise bike. And so remember, I go over real life experiences, right? Either I have had it or someone else has had it, right? So I'm going to start here. Narcissists and death. Okay, so the first part of the death, after the death has occurred, whether they die naturally, not the person that's died is necessarily the narcissist. Sometimes the person that's died is narcissistic, which means they have very low levels of empathy, or they are a narcissist. They could be empathic or a normal, right? So let's assume in this case that the person that's died is not a narcissist, but their relative or the person that's going to be in charge of their funeral in the state that they're in is a narcissist. So let's use that example. So as soon as the person dies that could be empathic, this is when the drama starts with the narcissist, right? So it begins when the narcissist starts telling lies, because the first thing that the empathic people are going to start asking the narcissist is, have you contacted this person's mother, father, nearest living other relative other than themselves? So say in an example, like a daughter or son dies and one of the parents is a narcissist. The other people are going to be like, well, have you notified this other parent or guardian or nearest living relative? So it's already on a bad foot because the narcissist begins telling lies. So they'll tell a couple of people, yeah, I actually talked to her brother or sister. And then y'all on the phone on a three-way, and the brother or sister on the phone, and they like, no, I don't know nothing. What are you talking about? So remember, it's going to be different for you because now you know what a narcissist is. So by now, or if you don't have self-control, you should be attaining it, especially if you're watching my videos and learning from other videos too. So I promote self-control, and that's why I'm doing this video. So it's different when someone dies and a completely empathic person is actually paying for the funeral and stuff like that, or the memorial or celebration of life. And the reason it's different is it won't begin with this game plane, right? So the game plane begins as soon as the empathic person dies, right? And a lot of times they do not die of natural causes. They are killed. The empathic person has been killed, shot. They could be killed by an accident at work, hit by a vehicle. They could have been in a car wreck, accidental falls, a sudden death, right? And the narcissist that's going to be paying for the funeral, now it's their attack time, right? And a lot of times, y'all, the person that they are paying for the funeral for has some level of empathy. And so remember, this person is naturally hated anyway. And remember, you got to think back to what the empathic person probably said out of their mouth. Sometimes before death, several years before the death, the empathic person said to you, this person doesn't love me anyway. The empathic person that's now dead already told you that that narcissist or those people in that particular place don't love them. And a lot of times the reason that's said is because even though the empathic person cannot pinpoint, or they don't know and they're not studying and they don't know to call this person a narcissist, they're uncomfortable enough or have felt enough discomfort to understand that this is a narcissist, right? So just keep that in mind. Really keep that in mind, that if an empathic person was paying for the funeral and things like that, they're not going to tell lies and say that they've notified your family and stuff like that. They're going to call you. Remember, empathy makes you more direct too. Because I have a soul for you, right? So if I'm the other parent, I'm not going to have people call you unless I'm trying to get your phone number or call the other people to have them contact you, right? So when a narcissist, one narcissist or more is already involved, it already starts out with foul play being began. Other things that the narcissist will do is they will tell you to send them pictures and people's names on that particular side of the family, and they won't put it in the obituary. Okay, this is things that the narcissist will do. Be prepared for the attack. And remember, since the narcissist is paying for it, in the narcissist's mind, money is a big deal. So paying for something means control for the narcissist. And remember, control is not always a form of empathy. It is what it is. It's control. Sometimes the control can be a form of empathy, but not always. So it will begin when that first phone call is made. They might even have a good religious sister or brother call you. And in this first call, when they're telling you the news, this religious person is already making you aware in a religious sense that this sister or brother that suddenly died is going to go to hell too. They're at risk of hell. See, that type of stuff. Because that's the narcissist, what they would call helper or flying monkey or their assistant. I call it the narcissist workers. People that work for the narcissist, whether it be their sisters, their brothers, their cousins. This one person is going to call you that's going to be the religious soul, so-called religious soul, and is going to let you know, by the way, your empathic loved one probably going to hell too, y'all. You feeling what I'm saying? So remember, I have this YouTube channel, right? So what am I here to teach you? How to handle it, right? And some suggestions I'm going to have you work on is this. If you get the call or whatever, this might sound weird. Remember, what do narcissists get a thrill out of? Emotional responses. So when you first get that call, if you can control it, try to control that outburst of crying, right? Now, you're not the narcissist, you're empathetic. So remember, we don't do things like they do. So what you're going to do is that helper or assistant or that flying monkey that's calling to give you the news, you're going to ask them for the person's number. You're going to get the narcissist number that's paying for the funeral, right? And you're going to need to get this narcissist number, and this is why. And this is not to be in defense of a narcissist. But remember, these are very vulnerable, sensitive people, y'all. You need to call that narcissist because that narcissist is going to need to cry, right? The narcissist is going to be crying like a baby, y'all. And you're going to need to offer and console and offer a good spirit through the phone with the narcissist. Because even though that narcissist can do some downright dirty, evil, wicked, low down stuff, this narcissist needs you now. Okay? And when you see the narcissist in person, you might have to grab them and give them a good hug too. Because you're not the narcissist. See, if I'm paying for your funeral, right? I still think your living mother and father should make a decision on if that's an open or closed casket. I don't think my empathy don't work like that. Just because I'm paying for it does not mean I have a right to take your rights away as parents. But narcissists do not think like that. They're solely basing this stuff on who paying for it. So this narcissist, they think they like a lord now. And they'll tell you outright, no, it's gonna be an open casket. This is what the person that's passed away would want. Even though the person that's passed away ain't put nothing in writing. I mean, hopefully the narcissist is right now. At the end of the day, as long as you have the right as the immediate relative to see the body, even if they're gonna do a closed casket at the service, at the celebration of life, memorial, or funeral, just go with it. Remember, you know what narcissism is. Okay, so it's not gonna help you to start arguing and debating with the narcissist, right? Because remember, this narcissist has already provoked and triggered the person that's dead. So the person that's dead then already had fights or whatever. The person that's dead then already ran it down to you, what they about, right? So you're not new to this. So what you want to do is not make the situation worse. And you want to bury your loved one in peace with the help of the narcissist paying for it. Now, what you want to do is also learn from this experience. So I throw in a lot of suggestion, cues, and advice. Advice I'm going to follow also, right? Work on getting your life insurance policies in force, okay? So that for future deaths in the family, you don't have to depend on other narcissistic people to pay for this stuff, right? So just look at, okay, if you and your brother or sister don't have life insurance, if you don't have it on your kids, your nieces and nephews, stuff like that, get that stuff done and make this a learning lesson. You're going to get donations from other empathic people. Take the donations. Get your plane tickets if you have to go out of town, train tickets, bus tickets, whatever you need to do, and just go lay the person to rest, right? And just go from there, right? That's all you want to do. Lay the person to rest and just go from there. Don't waste your time fighting with the narcissist. This narcissist will be narcissistic because sometimes they're not a full-blown narcissist. They're just acting narcissistic. They're controlling. So it means that they do have some level of empathy, right? But remember, even if you're dealing with someone that's very narcissistic, it's almost as if you're dealing with a full-blown narcissist. Show humility. Remember, I take the advice and I implement my own advice in my life. So I wouldn't be telling you this if I didn't know something about it, y'all, right? And so pray, get things going, get your life cleaned up, and just go from there. But from the minute that first call is made, that narcissist is already on the attack. And if you're going out of town, the whole goal is to get you to fight and act a fool, because they want to prove that you crazy just like the person that passed away. Because a lot of people can't see inside that narcissist soul. First thing they're going to say, well, why they acting like that down here when this man paid for all this stuff? Or why they acting like that down here when this woman done paid for all this stuff? Because it could be male or female. Narcissists are male and female. Or they're male or female. Okay, I apologize for that. Let me correct that, because nobody is a man and a woman. They're male or female. So yeah, just remember, because funerals, when people pass away, that's a prime time for the narcissist to act a fool, y'all. That's the time. They're going to do it, right? So just be aware. I'm going to have more videos coming about this, and I got a lot to talk about going into the New Year's with narcissism and deaths, and they just will occur. Try your best to take care of your stuff as far as your benefits and life insurance and stuff like that, to prevent you going in the hands of a narcissist in your time of death. Okay? So I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. I apologize for any of your loved ones that you've lost. I apologize, and I have compassion and a soul that you have to deal with a narcissist that's paying for these things. But handle it calmly. If something gets too out of hand, call your lawyer. Get legal advice, right? Do it the intelligent way. Because remember, no matter what, the narcissist is always going to be a narcissist. They're always going to have new supply. They're also, during this time, they're going to use their new supply, which is a new girlfriend or new wife. Because a lot of times you're an ex to these narcissists, whether they be a woman or a man. You're the ex. You're somebody that was with them when you were teenagers. You're the ex-wife. You're their first love. You're their first child's mother or father. You're their first, or their second, third, or whichever one, right? And they're really going to use this new supply to be a helper and an assistant for them to do their dirty deeds. And a lot of times the new supply is another narcissist or a narcissistic man or woman, and you're going to have to deal with that when you go to the funeral. Some people choose not to go to these funerals if they don't have to, but if it's an immediate relative and you definitely want to pay your respects, I encourage that. There's a way to do it without being subjected to the narcissist abuse or the narcissistic person's abuse. Okay, I've been on this bike over 19 minutes, y'all. I got this lemonade. So if you hear this little shaky shake, that's my lemonade, y'all. I got just a little ice in there. So yeah, just like I said, I'm sorry about your loss. Pray a lot. Try to stay active and busy. Death is going to come to all of us. But I'm here on my channel to help navigate and to help y'all figure out a better way to do it. And now you're aware. So I'm going to be doing more videos, y'all, okay? I'm going to be doing more because there's so much more to come that will happen. I'll share it with you. Okay, I'm going to keep sharing it. And like I said, my YouTube channel, I've told you this in other videos, it's a healer for me too. So as things arise in my life and in other people's lives right around me, I have so much to share. Okay. So anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all so, so much. Stay calm and remember that narcissism will show when you're first contacted. Some narcissists will just call you and snap and go off. But some narcissists are going to be passive aggressive. So they're going to have other people contact you. They got their assistants, their helpers, and their flying monkeys calling, doing their dirty work for them, right? Other narcissistic people, right? So keep that in mind and everything will be okay. And remember, I'm able to follow the advice that I give you, y'all. So that's the great thing about being here, okay? I do a very good job at that. And I'm always here to help, okay? Thank you, and I love y'all so, so much, and I'm sorry for your loss. But it's not always a loss. Because guess what? Your loved one is no longer in the narcissist's hands. Your loved one does not have to worry about constantly being threatened to be committed to a mental institution when they're not really that so-called crazy. They no longer have to worry about being killed by the narcissist. They're no longer under any emotional, spiritual, or physical torture from that narcissist. So death sometimes is the greatest blessing because you're now free of the narcissist. And another thing, sometimes if the person that died is a narcissist and you're empathic, now you're free from the narcissist. You no longer have to deal with their not talking to you, their silent treatments. You no longer have to be worried about where they're at, if they're on the next drug trip, if they're getting ready to be part of a human trafficking, kidnapping scam. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So remember, the narcissism can be from many different elements in this situation, right? So if that's your situation, take the freedom in it. Death is a form of freedom. Study on death. Study on what happens when people are in sudden accidents. Learn more. Elevate your mind. And so you can begin to view death totally different. Because it's not as bad as you always think it is. Right? It's a surprise. It's definitely a surprise when it's sudden. But it's not the worst thing in the world. Right? It's a form of freedom in many different ways. So if you look at it from that perspective, things can get better as you heal. And also, it's not just a freedom. Now that the narcissist or the empath that died is out of the way, or if they were narcissistic or just normal, now since they're out of the way, now is the time to be bonding with the people that you should be bonding with anyway, because all this chaos is out the way. And I use some examples, drug addictions and things like that, that make situations very unsettling. And those situations don't involve a peace of mind and freedom. And now y'all have that. I would have it too. Or I will have it too. As I go through many areas of healing, okay? So just keep this in mind. Please like, share, and subscribe. Again, I love y'all so, so much. And take care today, okay? Walk. Well, I'm not going to tell you to necessarily walk. because there's a lot of ice out in many areas. So avoid walking outside so you're not a falling victim. Get on your bike or a treadmill or something like that. Try to do something indoors if you're out in an environment where there's a lot of ice. Okay, so anyway, I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes in, y'all. Got this lemonade. Bye.